Good evening from New York. I am Selwyn Collins, your host of CWS As It Is. CWS As It Is was created as a platform to give Guyanese an opportunity to talk about matters concerning Guyana. Eventually, we'll evolve this throughout the region and then throughout the world. But for now, I think our country needs this kind of forum. This is the first for the year, and it is only fitting that we begin with some of the youths of Guyana. But before I start the show, I would like to acknowledge the passing of one of Guyana's daughters, Dr. Faith Harding. She was a gem, a counselor, friend, mentor, teacher, and to many of us, a sister. I cannot express enough what a blow this is to me, so I can only imagine those much closer to her. So I ask that you please join me in a moment of silence to honor the memory of Dr. Harding. Thank you. You know, knowing Faith, she would have asked me in that that Faith voice and cadence, boy, why are you doing this for me? And I would have said, because you're always so busy acknowledging, counseling, and empowering others that you hardly ever noticed or realized how very deserving you are of our appreciation and honor. Such was your selflessness. Rest in peace, my friend. Guyana's lost a voice of the voiceless and a beacon of hope. I'll take a short break, and when I return, I'll introduce you to these very, wow, dynamic and charismatic young people of Guyana. Stay tuned. We are back, and the lovely young people next to me are Yafet Jackman, the gentleman by himself, and then there is Onika Sterling. Am I correct, Onika?
No, it's Stellingberg.
Stellingworth. Sorry about that.
Yes.
Wait, did you guys just change? All right, so let me start over. Sandra Chung, Onika, give that to me.
Stellingberg.
Stellingworth.
Onika Stellingberg, yes.
All right, and then there is the lovely Sarah Barrett, my good friend. Good evening and welcome to CWS As It Is.
Good
Good
evening.
evening, Selwyn.
I want to take this opportunity to say how very, I believe in Murphy's Law and all these things, so I have to be very careful with commending this transmission that's happening here. You guys are in Georgetown. Yafet, I don't know why you're laughing, but
we've had this conversation.
I know, but I have to inform the audience that you are coming in from Georgetown, and to have this sort of a reception is amazing to me. So, once again, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's good to be here with you.
Thank you.
The global community is a network of hubs developed and led by young people who are exceptional in their potential, their achievements, and their drive to make a contribution to their communities. Is that accurate for the three of you? For the four of you, rather?
Yes, very accurate.
That sounds just about correct.
All right. Okay. Let me just do this. Why does the Global Shapers community mean? What does it mean to you, and why is it important for you to be part of this community? Let's start with you, Sarah.
Well, for me, being a part of Global Shapers, when I applied to join, I made it clear that I thought the hub would be a way to get solutions implemented across a wider base. And personally, being a part of the hub is it's just a way to give back. I mean, Selwyn, having met some of the people that make up this hub and having seen them in action, it simply inspires you to do more.
And for you, Yafet.
Joining the Shapers was it was pretty much me expanding the impact that I really wanted to have in Guyana. I was happy to meet like-minded young people like myself that were not just interested in learning whatever they can learn and add to the brain drain. There were more solution-oriented people that were always looking to find some way to solve a problem as opposed to just sitting on the fence or complaining about it. So that was pretty much my drive behind joining the Shapers.
Okay. Yafet, I just want to ask you something. Your lighting seems a little off. I don't know if you have a light that can shine directly on you, but you can do that in the meanwhile. So let me
Okay.
go to
Dark.
Onika. What does it mean to you to be a shaper?
Well, to me, it means quite a lot being a shaper. I was among one of the first shapers to join the Georgetown Hub. But I must say, when I was first approached and asked to apply, I was a bit nervous because this is a brand new initiative to Ghana, and I wasn't sure what to expect, what I would be doing, who I would be meeting, and what the entire group would have been about. But it's one decision that I'm really glad I made, because being in the group, it has been great working with young people from all different walks of life, from all parts of Guyana, from all ethnic backgrounds, racial backgrounds, political persuasions, and everything. And it's amazing to see how we can come together, put our differences aside, expand on our similarities, and effect change in our projects that we do.
And Sandra, you.
Hi.
Hi.
Well, personally, I've only been here since August as a shaper, but so far I've been involved in some projects, and it's such a humbling feeling being able to give back to communities, to share my experience with other young people, and to see that, like what Oni said, is a group made up of a very diverse set of people, and being able to work together in that sense, I've been able to personally develop my self-confidence, as well as just showing the wider community how people can work together as a unit in a diverse setting as well.
Guyana, being such a politically charged and racially charged environment country, how do you manage to not get politics involved in your projects and your daily or your operations?
I would just like to take a stab at this, a small stab. First of all, when people think of politics, they tend to think of one thing, the government and opposition and ruling party. But politics in its truest form is everything we do in life. As a group, we're apolitical, and we do not take a stand for or against any political party when we're doing projects. But what we want to show Guyanese is that a group of young people can come together regardless of who they're supporting politically and work together, because we want to set an example for our leaders in parliament, for our leaders in our NDCs and our neighborhoods, wherever they might be, to show that you don't need to agree on everything, but if you have a drive to effect change in your community, it can be done regardless of who you're voting for.
Onika, I am glad you took that particular stab, and let me ask you this. Are there particular principles or doctrines of GSC that sort of inform what you just said, or is this something that you feel within your heart?
Well, other than it being something that I feel, our community charter as well as our local charter states that being a shaper, first of all, the hub is apolitical, we're neutral, and when you're in the group, we look for young people who are not only humble, effecting change in their communities, but they're also they're willing to put aside whatever their major beliefs are, and they're willing to work together, and it encourages a space where people can express ideas, and like our founding curator likes to say, be hard on ideas and soft on people. So regardless of who you are or where you come from, it's our mandate as a group to come together to work for the betterment of Guyana.
At what point do you believe the charter or these mandates no longer matter, and what you have developed, the camaraderie you have developed being part of this group, becomes the driving force or becomes the glue that keeps you guys, the diverse group of people, together? At what point does that happen?
Well,
okay, all right. I'll allow Sarah.
A bit of something to add here, Selwyn. Personally, I would say that the charters are just guidelines to ensure that we operate in a certain way. But what has glued us together from the very beginning, Selwyn, is actually our camaraderie and our single, our single goal to effect change in Guyana, to build a better nation, to shift our culture from what it is. So over to Yafet.
I was going to add to that, saying that it should be known that the global community, global shapers, global community, asks that each hub, create their guidelines. While there are general guidelines coming down from the community, each hub is responsible for creating what works for them. The global community has taken a very special and strategic position of while being, on the head, they're not too much micromanaging or interfering.
Yeah, but hold on a second. You're not sounding audibly enough, and there's this scratching sound when you speak. What changed between Friday and tonight?
I am not sure. I am unable to answer such a question.
Okay, Yafet. Okay, continue, sir.
Okay, sir. So they're not micromanaging, and for each shaper bringing something different to the table to impact change. It's a matter of. I'm sorry, were you about to say something?
No. Go ahead.
Okay. It's a matter of just being like-minded. Like Sarah said, we're already glued to the fact that we have a common goal, and the charter, all the bylaws and all of these things are just at the back of our heads, as just in case something needs to be pointed back to. Like, that's the North Star.
I understand. I only probe this way, and I ask this question because there seems to be a perception in the diaspora that because of these diversities in Guyana, that young people can't work together, especially among the older generation. So I understand. I've spoken a lot with Sarah, and I understand that this does exist, this sort of camaraderie and so on exists, but I just want you to say it for yourselves.
Okay.
How long has this hub, the Georgetown hub, been in existence?
We've been around since the 12th of December 2012.
2 years. So in that 2 years, Onika, you said you're an original member?
Yes.
And what about you, Yafet?
Yeah, I was a part of the first cohort.
What kind of growth or changes have you guys seen from the inception to now?
Onika?
Well, growth. We have grown quite a lot. We started with 6 shapers, 4 were males, 2 were females. I was the only one who was from another region. I'm from Linden originally. And coming to the hub, I can tell you that over the past 2 years, we have expanded to about 18 individuals.
How many?
And about 18. Oh, 17 shapers, sorry. But we had a particular set of individuals, and now we have folks who are dentists, we have environmentalists, we have folks who studied law, who who right now are, involved in different areas of life. So we're not moving in one direction in terms of shapers, but we try to premise almost everything on diversity because we want everyone in Ghana to have a say, whether you're from the minority, whether you're from the majority, sorry. We want everybody to be a part of the hub and, just to be able to have an input in the change process.
How often does the shapers recruit, and how long is the process?
Well, recruitment is done once yearly and it lasts for about a month. We open our doors to new persons and they can apply within the period of August 31st to September 30th. And then we do our own internal selections. Persons are invited for interviews. We do a bit of a follow-up to that and then we onboard our new shapers.
So who and what age qualifies to be a shaper?
Well, to qualify as a shaper, you must be between 20 and 30 years. You must be a leader in your field. You must have impact in your community, and you must have a drive to effect change in your community as well. Those are the basic things we look for.
I see.
If I can add to that,
sure.
Apart from, although everyone has potential leadership qualities, the community looks for demonstrative leadership qualities. So, as Onika said, you would have had to have been working and already doing something in your community, as apart from wanting and thinking about it.
Well, Yafet, while I have you on the mic, what unique skills each of you bring to the group? Starting with you.
This is a breakdown. At the time, I was working towards arts and culture. So the poetry events that I was working on with the Upstairs Restaurant, I brought that to the table. Having that arts and culture background, working with the young poets, visual artists, spoken word artists, in Guyana. Apart from that, I was also bringing my media skills into the hub, having some experience at operating a camera and editing some stuff. So
Yes.
that's the skill that I brought at the time.
Mm-hmm. And you, Sandra?
For me, I'm originally from Region 8, which is the interior of Guyana. And some of our projects are aimed at dealing with kids. For instance, we have the stationary drive. So basically, I have fair knowledge of what goes on in the interior. So I'm more like a mobilizing person in that area. And representing the Amerindians as well in the hub. So.
Sandra, I didn't hear the last sentence. You're more like some kind of person, and then what?
I said I'm from the area.
Right.
So, yeah. So in the case of mobilizing people or resources in the interior with regards to our project there, I would have a fair knowledge of what goes on in there and how to get there and all of that. But what I also said is that I'm also representing the Amerindians in Guyana because I also. You're Amerindian? Yes, I am Amerindian.
and it's good to see you represented, or good to see you as part of the Shapers, Sandra. What is the name of your particular tribe? How do you pronounce that?
It's Patamuna.
Patamuna, and you speak the language is Patamuna, right?
Yes, I speak it.
Huh?
Yes, I speak it very.
You speak it very well. So, how would you feel having? I'm not sure how Global Shapers really work in terms of the various hubs or units, but how would you feel having a particular hub in your area, in your region?
I would love that actually, because up there, what you would find is a lot of people don't have the chance or the opportunities to be exposed a lot of things that goes on in in Georgetown or even internationally, and being able to be part of such a diverse group, I think would give them the ability to do things in their community, um, and just effect change as well.
You just recently joined. You said. What would you say are some benefits that you have realized from being a shaper?
It's given me a voice, because being part of a wider community or a bigger group, I feel that for me to effect change in these communities or be a role model, at least I have other people who believe in me, and they I know would be cooperating and helping me in effecting that change as well.
And Sarah, you as an ardent writer, blogger, and if I may say, activist at time, how does being part of this particular group help you, or let me rephrase it this way:
Mhm.
how does your experience as a writer and blogger and being part of a lot of social and political activities in Guyana, how does that help you, or how does that help the shaper? Sorry, how does that help your hub, your experience?
My experience, well, I think the first thing that my presence in the hub actually brings to it, it adds to that diversity because I'm a grassroots Indian Guyanese, unfortunately I have to use that ethnic tag. The fact of the matter is I come from that demographic, I come from this particular socioeconomic class as well. And here I am in, a global shapers community hub, and people who look on from the outside often get the impression that we shapers are sort of an elitist group, but that is so far from the truth. I mean, my presence here totally dispels that. Uh, as to how my experience helps the hub, Selwyn, when I applied to join this hub, and I'm sorry I have to keep saying that because in my life, I have been wrong about many things, but the one thing I have been particularly wrong about over the last year and a half has been the Global Shapers Georgetown Hub. And when I finally joined ranks with the Global Shapers, I realized that these were a set of people who were committed to change in Guyana and who were committed to giving time and to helping to support your cause. Now, you and I would have had a conversation about transforming the national discourse in Guyana.
Mm-hmm.
So here we have some of the brightest Guyanese from all walks of life who influence other young people and who in turn share ideas that you present to the hub. So in terms of politics, when I step into the Georgetown hub, I leave my political baggage on the outside. In the Georgetown hub, I'm nothing but a young Guyanese who is there to help and support my family. That is what the hub has come to mean to me. And I think that is what the hub is going to be for me for a very long time until I'm too old to be there.
What what was a defining moment for you, Sarah, after you joined?
Let me tell you what the defining moment for me was. There was this one night. Am I permitted to speak about experiences in meetings, emotional experiences?
I you
Yes, yes.
Let's
I
have a
like
vote about that.
I
you're
thought
very
I thought it was a democracy, but anyway, go ahead.
we consult each other and everything. So there was one night, we usually have our group meetings, our scheduled group meetings, and we have, a check-in where we just tell each other about our weeks and what we've been up to. And the young woman next to me, Anika Stellingberg, just had this moment of honesty, where she shared her feelings with the hub and she had stripped herself of everything else. And it began there, Selwyn, and the moment sort of expanded because as it went around the room, then it homed in on another hub member, Gregory Shaw. And the thing about Gregory is this: whenever you ask Gregory, how can I show you some love? How can I support you? Gregory says, you can show me some love by asking me for support. And it was right there in that meeting that I realized how lucky I was to be with these people.
Mm-hmm.
And between Anika and Greg and all the other shapers, they really showed me that, there's so much more you can do, and we're here for you. So for the first time in my life, I was in a space where I felt